Welcome to our series on the 12 powers. Now, the 12 powers are simply divine qualities that bridge our humanity with our divinity. And this is how we are able to receive those great ideas. This is how we are able to align with the Christ consciousness and create heaven on earth. Now, the more that we work with our 12 powers, the more that we live in our true purpose, which is to call forth our divine nature and live authentically, to listen and act in faith, right? To become more receptive to divine guidance and to become more receptive to divine direction. So today I want to talk about divine zeal. But first I want to explain the difference between divine zeal and simply being overzealous. Now, a basic difference between the two is that with divine zeal, we are seeking out only the wonder that is God. But when we get overzealous, we are seeking to set the world right. We are looking for a fix, and we want everybody to experience it with us. Overzealousness, it's coming from outside of ourselves. We get some bit of information, we learn something new, and we know it's going to change the world, and we want everybody to do it. But it's not filtered through divine wisdom or divine understanding. And so nothing changes within us. And see, all change in our life has to start with changing within us, right? Inner transformation always precedes outer transformation. Now, another thing a zealot does is they jump from one thing to another when that first bit of information didn't pan out, right? It's like then they're looking for the next magic bullet, okay? Now, I had that experience myself when I became a holistic health practitioner, and that was a really fun time of my life. I learned a lot, but every time I learned something new, I thought that was the magic bullet that would fix everybody, right? Oh, you need a massage, it'll fix everything. Smell this essential oil, it'll fix everything. Get hypnotized, do homeopathy, get some energy work, it'll fix everything, right? And then it didn't. I was always seeking the next magic bullet because I wasn't putting any of that to work in myself, or I wasn't doing the work enough to actually experience transformation within. Now, divine zeal, what makes it divine, is it's an impulse to go forward. It is an impulse to create, and it comes from within us, okay, the source within us, and it will take us down a whole different path, because it starts as inspiration in our imagination. We get excited about it, and then we have to listen and act in faith to keep the momentum going, right? To keep it going. Charles Fillmore says this: zeal is the great universal force that impels humankind to spring forward in a field of endeavor and accomplish the seemingly miraculous. Because it's a thing we want to do, and we don't know how we'll do it other than we have to rely on source within to guide us. So we experience zeal and we get super excited, and then we act in faith. We act in faith, and then something new happens in our life, right? And we get more momentum. See, zeal is a divine quality of the all that is, urging all of life to express, urging the light to express through each of us in all these different ways. When we are experiencing divine zeal, we will also experience enthusiasm. Of course, we know that because that's zeal. We'll also experience joy, but also we'll have courage, and we'll feel curious, and we'll be very creative thinkers. And we're going to get really excited to see how that divine inspiration will unfold through us. Now, the Unity Minister Sharon Connor said this: zeal is the flame that gets our hearts on fire with passion for the possible, right? Passion for the possible, because when we are inspired, we are also given all that we need to make it so if we listen and act in faith. Okay, so passion for all that's possible for us. She goes on to say, it's the energy that inspires, motivates, energizes, and moves us forward. to what we love, and all that is important to us. So you can see it's really important that we make room in our day for something that energizes us. We need to make room for something inspired. We grow, we transform, because the process of acting in faith is how we move forward and experience things that are important to us. We are here to expand our light. Going through our day on autopilot is not enough for us. We must take action on something that energizes us. So divine zeal requires us to physically participate with it, right? It's responsive. So we get an idea in our imagination, we get really excited, and then we have to decide, okay, am I going to listen and act in faith and get the momentum going and be open to surprises, right? Am I going to do that? Okay, let's say then we say, yes, I'm going to listen and act in faith. Okay, so next, now do I feel the momentum in my life, right? Am I feeling excited? Am I feeling that zeal? Our answer may actually be no. So then we want to look at, what is it we're focusing on, right? Are we excited about the thing that we just got the idea about? Are we excited and imagining that in our lives? Or are we focusing on all the reasons we can't do that? Okay, so if we answer no to that, like, am I still feeling momentum? Then that's the point where we have to shift our focus. We have to keep participating to keep the momentum going. No momentum, no movement. Now, we have all experienced zeal before. It's within us every step of the way when we are listening and acting in faith. It's the element that makes creating new things exciting. And that's why once we've accomplished a goal, it feels so good. The journey to the accomplishment, we want to do it again, right? We want to do it again. Charles Fillmore, in his book, The Atom-Smashing Power of the Mind, he wrote this when he was like 93 years old, and he still was filled with so much zeal for life. And he was still creating. He was constantly creating new things. He was constantly expanding and expressing his light for the good of all of us. So he says this affirmation at 93 years old: I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth from a mighty faith to do the things that ought to be done by me, right? That ought to be done by me. An inspiration chooses you for a reason, because it ought to be done. It ought to be made manifest by you. Yes, by you. So here is our call to action for this week. We'll start with an affirmation. I kind of paraphrased Charles Fillmore's affirmation, but I shortened it. I live my life with joy and enthusiasm and do all that is mine to do. Okay? I live my life with joy and enthusiasm and do all that is mine to do. All that is ours to do. All that is ours to do can be anything we're excited about, but it also has to require our faith to do it. Okay, now I can be excited to go to the bookstore, but I'm not creating something new when I do that, right? It's a thing I just like to do. But I experience divine zeal when I write a book. Like right now I'm working on something that's way out of my comfort zone. But when I actually sit down with it and do the work on it, I feel super excited, right? Like something's happening. That's what it feels like. All that is ours to do, right? All that is ours to do. That is the expression of the divine into our lives. Now, the power of divine zeal is a requirement for a life of transformation, joy, and well-being. We can't live our life on autopilot. So here's our invitation for this week. Reflect on zeal. Reflect on zeal, because it is necessary to expressing your authentic self. If you are not experiencing zeal in some moment during your day, it's going to be like you're not going to be expressing your authentic self. So do one thing each day that brings that joy and requires faith to do it. Listen and act in faith. Every day, listen and act in faith. This is what creates momentum. What have you been inspired to do lately, but you haven't acted on it yet? Okay, what is that? Choose something that energizes you. Listen and act in faith. Do all that is yours to do, because this is how we are creating heaven on earth. So until next time, remember, you are divinely designed to be doing all of this. You are a one-time, one-of-a-kind cosmic event. In everything you do, you are blessed, and so it is.